Check it out, it's concrete day today, baby. Of course it frickin' pissed down last night and filled all our thickenings up. Look at this, filled up our footings. Now, so on today's episode, we're actually going to be concreting this thickening up to slab height, that footing through there. And we also got to box this up. It's all ready to rock and roll. We just got to put the boxing in. But we've got to actually apply a special product to the concrete before we put the boxing in, so it's easier. And we're also going to fill this one up to slab height too. Yeah, so as I was saying, it freaking absolutely pissed down last night, which is not a good thing, because when we go to pour concrete, we don't really want water in and around all our footings and stuff like that, because it compromises the strength of the concrete. So yeah, what we've done is we're actually using this thing called gravity so what we're doing is we are using a gravity fed system to pull the water out of our thickening. So the way we do that is we grab a hose and we stick one end of the hose in the thickening itself where the water is, and then the other one we suck on the end of it, right? Like this. Right? That's how I got these carpet burns on my knees. And once the water comes through, it actually feeds down and the water starts flowing. You can see that. So we've had that on for 5 minutes and we couldn't actually see any of the steel in our thickening. So that's actually working really well. See how far it's gone down?
I just turned around, see.
So it's working pretty quickly. I'm going to set another one up for over here because that's quite a lot. Now, the only way this works is if you've got a spot lower than where the water is. If you could imagine our hose comes up on an angle like that, and you're sucking, and the water comes up, it's just going to flow back down. So we actually need this point over here to be lower than where that point is. So we've got that in both situations. I think I'm going to be able to grab this hose here, and I'm going to go and stick it down over there, and fingers crossed we might have to dig a little hole just so we can get the hose down further enough. But this one here is about probably filled up with 300 ml of water, so we've got to be at least 300 ml lower than that down there. So we'll see what happens anyway. I'm going to go set that up now so we can get both of those running, and then we can start prepping for our concrete. So what I'm getting Fabian to do as well is, you can see we've just got all our soil and dirt and stuff all around our thickening, so getting him to just shuffle it, move it out over there, get rid of any hazards that can actually get into the slab. Not hazards, but any debris. But yeah, far out. So cut to concrete truck coming. What do you reckon? Yeah, we're not really the best concreters, but it's only a small little bits and pieces, so I'm sure we'll make it happen. Fingers crossed it doesn't rain. How are you? So what you want to do is go like this. And then you want to put the pressure on when you're sucking. Put the pressure on there so it doesn't fall back in. Hopefully we're deep enough. I think my hose is a little long. Okay, is it gonna work? Look at that. See that? Woo! Oh, so that's all right. It's flowing, yeah. But the shorter the length of that, the faster it comes out. That's not really how it works in the real life, but. So the blocky's just come to site just to check out a few of our little bits that need to be done. He's going to be in tomorrow to stick those blocks in. And I just was pilfering through his gear up there that he dropped off. Look, submersible pump. How fucking good. Hey Fabiano.
Yeah, my bro.
So I'm just going to stick that in. It's got this little tag here that sort of, once it's lifted up, hopefully it'll all go. Is that power on? That's better, look at that. Alright, that's working way faster. Just attaching some primer to the existing concrete, so it's a Secadure 32. We just mixed it together, you've seen that. Look at that, priming it up, ready for concrete in 20 minutes. It's going to be all go.
I should've listened to myself. I'm always trying to second guess these things. Everything I felt, but you just had me tied up in your strings. And maybe it was all in my head, girl, I'm all in my head. But you just made me feel so insecure. All in my head, girl, I'm sick in my head. And I thought you'd be my cure. But you were never what I need.
Sweet, so it was pretty much all go there for a second. Any chippy will know that the concrete is always a bit of a rush, but we got it all in. We're using just your standard trowel. Fabian, do you want to pass that trowel? No, that's a screed, this is the trowel. So we're just using a trowel, and that's just pretty much helping us work the concrete to a level surface. It's still a little bit rough through there. But the main idea for that is just to get our concrete nice and level and flush with the existing slab, even through here. Back over here, we're just using the screed, it's got a little level in it, and just sort of work it. It doesn't really matter what height that foundation system's at, because our boxing's just going to box up. I'm going to pour this all in one hit. You'll notice that in areas where we're going to be boxing up to extend the slab in, we've sort of left the concrete rough like this, and that way when we go to pour the next one, we don't have to like scab all the concrete or anything like that. We'll just put our Secadure on it and it'll be ready to rock and roll. So all came out pretty well. Now we got to let that dry for a little bit, and then once that happens, we use a Maggie, which is a little bit different to the screed, like this. And what this one does is it actually brings the water to the surface, or the slurry, and it pushes the aggregates down so we can get a nice smooth clean surface on the top. We don't really need any floats in this situation, we'll just use the Maggie to tidy all that up. But yeah, I'm off now, so I'm probably going to leave the boys to it and they can sort of finish it off, but we'll see you probably Monday for our block pour and pour this as well. So I'm just going to go and organise all that right now. But nice and simple, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Fabian's having a bit of a clean up right now. Before I go, I thought I'd better mention what sort of concrete you're using. So obviously we had a pump to pump it, so you need to have a 10mm chip, and that's the size of the aggregate that's in the concrete itself. And then you can get different strengths, and that strength is read by like an MPa, so you can get 20, 15, 25, and most of the foundation work normally comes in 25 MPa, so that's what we've had to do in this situation, which is totally fine. It just means that the mix of cement in the concrete itself is a little higher, and that's why we like to try and get rid of all the water and stuff out of the footings, so it doesn't so it doesn't disturb the strength of the concrete or change the strength. So yeah, mean, you suck.
You suck.
I suck hoses, remember? Right, we made it back to the new build. Look at this. Poured, foundation poured, block walls are in. Very nice. Just finishing off, putting our primer on through here. Fabian's cleaned that out. make it look nice. Now I know I'm going to get a bit of shit for this, but I'm going to backtrack. Obviously we're builders, not concrete professionals. Now what I realized is this magnesium float, or this Maggie, what it does is it, like we said, it brings the slurry to the top. And I said that we finish it with this, but we don't. Oops, you finish it with a steel trowel. I was doing some concrete research the other day. I was like, oh fuck, what a muppet. But anyway, we'll take that block of wood out as well. Fabian's just putting that together. Getting these nib walls done, just epoxied this, sword flashing in, you can see this. Epoxied it in, and then when we go to pour the nib, any water that tries to get in and throw it around, not that it's ever going to happen, but Miles is just doing that boxing now while we wait for the truck. So yeah, do that, and then that'll be a freaking job done. I'm off to the pub. Alright, so I gotta go. The truck's only just left the plant and it's 12:09, and I got another one at the basement conversion at 1:30. So I was gonna be here, have both the barrows, but I'm gonna have to take one of the barrows now and let the boys do it. So cut to a couple of cool little clips, and then I'll see you back here at some point. Just don't know when. Probably Thursday.
I can guess these things, everything I felt, but you just had me tied up in your strings. And maybe it was all in my head, girl, I'm all in my head, but you just made me feel so insecure. All in my head, girl, I'm sick in my head, and I thought you'd be my cure. But you were never what I need. You were never what I need. Cause never all that bad could've.
Alright, I had to do the early ones, come down to site, pick up the camera because Mikey's going to be doing a little bit of editing today, but you can see the block, it's all nice and full. The rest of our slab infills are complete, and that block wall is filled up now, so all our foundation work is pretty much complete. We used a 7mm block fill for this pour. You can see if we use a 20mm chip or something like that, if the block fill is the size of the chip is like the rock size, I guess you could say, inside the concrete, and it's just so we can get a good pour all the way down to the bottom of our block work there. Now the nib walls haven't quite been completed. Unfortunately, with the set of plans that we got, the measurements aren't exactly the same as the slab itself. Now we've had to go through for the detailer. The detailer is the person that measures all our frames, details them up, all the studs, the nogs, all the trusses and all that sort of stuff, because we're getting them pre-made and then they're going to come to site. So he needed us to measure all the existing slabs, and they don't really correlate to what's on the plan. So what I'm trying to get at is these nib walls aren't exactly the same as what's been shown on the plan. So yeah, we're just getting a little confused in that regard. But I've got the detailer's plans now, our frame plan, and we're able to accurately build these nib walls and get those sorted today. So we're all sort of ready for our pre-nail on Thursday. So it's looking really, really good. I think we'll have to do a little bit of a tidy up. We've got a drainage inspection happening, I think on the 9th, pre-nail, so everything's all organised really for this job. Pre-nail is Thursday, like I mentioned. We have steel coming in, the structural steel coming in on Tuesday next week. Well, it's getting delivered on Friday, but put in on Tuesday, and then all our mid-floor will be done by the end of the week, fingers crossed, and then the next set of frames will be booked in for the following Tuesday. So everything's ready to rock and roll. Really, really happy. And let's just see. I'll see you on the next one anyway. I was a bit rambling a little bit. Again, it's a little bit bitsy because I'm not actually here on the job site, so I'm just trying to show you bits and pieces and keep you up to date on what's going on. But yeah, I guess I'll see you when we start standing frames, because that's quite a cool day. So yeah, peace, hope you enjoyed it. If there's any concrete layers out there, give us a bit of shit, because we don't fucking know what we're really doing, but we're able to get it somewhat nice. We're half decent chippies, you know. But we really like to figure things out and actually have it a crack ourselves. Like, obviously these small slabs aren't super important, like finish wise. I mean, we got a pretty good finish on that, to be honest with you. But it's not perfect compared to what a professional would do. But yeah, the only way to learn is to practice, eh? So keep that in mind, and peace. See you on the next one.